I didn't know y'all finna boo me for this take, but I'm right. I genuinely feel that uneducated men are some of the most boring men ever to date. I could hear it now, y'all calling me every name in the book, but that's my opinion. But nah, seriously, like, I know that the life that I have lived is very privileged, very rare, right? It's very weird, like bougie, despite the fact that I've had a lot of hardships, right? It's such a contradiction. And my family really, really valued education. I am not a first generation college graduate, I'm a third generation college graduate. Like, my grandmother went to college, and then my mother went to college, and I went to college, right?
How come she's not naming any of the men in her family and saying that they went to college? Just an observation. I'm not getting on the ad hominem attacks. I'm off that. I'm not on that at all. I don't really care about any of that. I think that we do need to evaluate the source. And so I'm always going to link back to the content creator, and I'm going to put that down in the description because it's the right thing to do. But I ain't on the ad hominem attacks. Y'all can have that for y'all. I'm not doing that. I look at the context. I'm trying to understand the why. I'm trying to understand because communication is 90% body language. It's how you say it, what you say in the context by what you're saying. It's not just on the surface. She said her grandmother, her mother, and then her. And she struggled, but she's very bougie. And she lives a very privileged life. Let's continue.
My mom has like 2+ degrees, at least 2 degrees. Child, I don't know how many degrees she got at this point, but she just be collecting them like Pokemon. And my grandmother was very studious as well. She was always researching and teaching herself Greek and Hebrew and all this kind of stuff because she was really into the Bible. So she was like, I want to read the Bible and like the original text and all that kind of stuff, in addition to her degree in business management. And I was raised in Massachusetts, right? So I would be a beta tester as a kid for educational video games up at Harvard and MIT and things of that nature. But being educated and being around people who value education.
Being a beta tester for a game that was being created at Harvard and MIT does not necessarily qualify you to be a conversationalist or to designate yourself as not boring just because you are around other people. Now, listen. The title of this video, I get it, right? She's saying that guys that are not educated are boring. And I'm not sure if she's just talking about in the dating phase or just in general and having conversations. I'm assuming it's in the dating phase because if it wasn't in the dating phase, and you would say people that are not educated that you're having conversations with are boring. And I know that this is leapfrogging off of the conversations that's being had from an article that was produced. I don't know if it was the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times, where they were saying that black boys or kids or whatever or men are choosing not to go to college and they're falling behind the rest of society, including black women, even at HBCUs, when it comes to pushing their education. I'm an advocate for educating yourself. I'm not an advocate for taking on a bunch of student loans. I think that there are ways for you to do it to prevent yourself from getting a whole lot of student loan debt. That's the part that they're not adding into this equation, right? Just because you went to school, what did you go to school for? What do you know what I'm saying? Was it something that actually added value into society? And just because you went to school does not mean that you know how to communicate effectively or you are wise. And that's why a lot of women get into school just to say that they got a degree, but that does not justify you going because you actually made a stupid decision. That's the reason why they were, rocking with Biden when he was saying that they was going to forgive their student loans. Because how can you be so stupid yet so educated at the same time to take on $100,000 in student loan debt just to continue your social work degree?
Being around people who've traveled the world, whose worldview is so much bigger, I have so much more of a curiosity about how the world works. And I've noticed that when men are not educated, they have no curiosity about anything. It's like they are mindlessly focused on getting money, clout, and girls, and that's it. And if you talk to them, there's nothing really deeper going on there. And it's not to say that they don't have those deeper emotions, but it's like they shut them off and don't know how to access them because they're taught or they don't understand that there's so much more to the world. I've dated a man who had a GED. Like, he had dropped out of high school. I didn't even know that until we had been talking for a little minute, right? And then once he said that, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense about why I'm so bored. But by then I had caught feelings. So like, I still entertained it for like a few more months before I cut things off. And all he could talk about was like money and the famous rappers he knew because he was a rapper.
I am educated and I like to talk about money and women and get more money. Just a moment of transparency. I don't think that has anything to do with being educated. That has more to do with the fact that we like money and women. Oh, but I bet you he hit. Listen, she caught feelings and all of that. Listen, she was talking to a rapper, but she's talking about guys that are educated. Oh, you can't make this up. You just can't make this up. Let's continue.
And I don't know, just clout, just the most boring dumb things. Oh, and making beats, right? That was, and horror movies. That was it. And I was so incredibly bored.
What you
And
want me to talk
before I
about?
blocked him, he tried to circle back around and text me on some like, "Oh, I miss you so much. Every time I listen to this album, I think of you, blah 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 blah." And I literally texted him back, okay, but like, what's the point? Just talk to men
Tui,
without an education, and they
lay
have
up.
that similar thought process. They just care about money and clout and girls. There's nothing deeper. They don't care about the state of the world. There's no desire to know anything about anything other than just their base needs. And
No, and see, this is not true. We're gonna go ahead and get off of that. Again, linking back to the content creator. We're gonna get off of that. That's not true. We're very deep. And if you are able to unlock that portion of us, because some of us only see you as this surface level being, and again, this has nothing to do with being educated. I think that women are conflating going to school and studying for a degree with you being intelligent and being able to communicate effectively. There's a lot of people, and again, you're hearing this from a person that video after video over the last week or so have been talking about the importance of us leveling up and making sure that we continue to invest in ourselves and make sure that we go to college and do it the right way and giving you the solution of how I did it, all of that, right? I think that two things can be true at the same time. You can have people that are incredibly deep, incredibly educated, or not educated, but men are not a monolith, right? And just because we choose not to talk about the things that's meaningful to us that is deep does not mean that we aren't deep. We're just not that way with you because we only see you as an opportunity, or you may not have unlocked that part of who we are yet. And so I think that a lot of women think that just, and that's honestly, this shows you how stupid that they are, right? They're thinking that just because they got a bunch of degrees that they're deep. Bro, you can learn culture, you can visit a lot of places. Right now, I'm in deep down in the heart of Mexico. And yesterday I learned some stuff that is going to be on the vlog. So make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to the vlog. If you know, you know. I'm down here learning things and understanding things that I've never seen before. I taught myself Mandarin, right? I consider myself a C student. To some people, you're only going to get this much of what I believe or what I think because in a lot of instances, I just don't think it's worth it to have that conversation with everybody. To be honest with y'all, some of you women couldn't comprehend the depths of what some of these guys are that are with you. They just choose not to do that. And if you actually get to a point to where you can explore the depths of a mind of a person that's an entrepreneur or a person that has seen some of these things or traveled this way, or they truly get what the dynamics are economically and financially. It's some very, very awesome people. And I don't think that too many people in this world is boring, to be honest with you. If you're just breaking it down from this lens, I don't think that there's too many people in this world that is boring because everybody has layers and complexities to them. It's just that they may not be interested in talking to you about it. That's my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. Again, I always like to link back to the content creator. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.